To prevent exfiltration of sensitive data on endpoint devices, such as Windows or Mac, Endpoint DLP can provide such protection. Endpoint DLP enables admins to control the use of peripheral devices by creating alerts, blocking of sensitive data or their usage. The Prisma Access agent detects when file movement between the endpoint and peripheral device is detected and evaluates the Endpoint DLP policy rulebase. When necessary, Prisma Access agent forwards the traffic to Enterprise DLP for inspection and verdict rendering. Enterprise DLP then communicates the verdict to the Prisma Access agent, which then takes the action configured in the Endpoint DLP policy rule. Additionally, the Prisma Access agent is also responsible for displaying the end user a notification when they generate a DLP incident. Endpoint DLP can prevent exfiltration to peripheral devices, including USB devices, printers, and network shares, and it is supported on endpoints running Microsoft Windows or macOS operating systems. For data in motion support, the movement of data between peripheral devices is forwarded to Enterprise DLP for inspection and verdict rendering. Depending on the verdict, the Prisma Access agent allows or blocks the movement of data. With user granularity, Endpoint DLP can filter user groups and each individual user. For device granularity, Endpoint DLP can control USB based on name, manufacturer model, serial number, vendor ID, and product ID. And it can manage the network share by the name of the network share, server name or IP address, and directory path. And for printers, it controls based on the name, printer type, USB, or network. When a policy violation is detected, the end user receives a notification of the violation for end user coaching. For the demo, a corporate policy has two groups of users: corporate user group and executive user group. Corporate user group is not allowed to use USB peripherals to print or copy, and executive user group is allowed, but only for non-sensitive data. In this demo, we have two users, Bob and Kate. Bob is a corporate user and has an Endpoint DLP policy for peripheral control, and Kate is an executive user and has a policy for data in motion. When Bob tries to print and copy a file with non-sensitive data, the actions are blocked and notifications are received. Bob is logged in with username PAZTNA Agent 3Win in the Prisma Access agent. Bob opens a non-sensitive file and attempts to print. The access to the printer is blocked and the Bob receives a notification for the policy violation. Next, the Bob attempts to copy the file to the USB drive by dragging and dropping in the Windows Explorer. The access to the USB drive is blocked and the Bob receives a notification for the policy violation. As for Kate, the Endpoint DLP policy is data in motion with the ability to allowing non-sensitive data while blocking sensitive data for printing and for copying files to the USB drive. Let's take a look at Kate attempts to print and copy a non-sensitive file. Kate is logged in with username PAZTNAgent2Win in the Prisma Access agent. Kate opens a non-sensitive file and attempts to print. The action is allowed and the document printed successfully. Next, the Kate drags and drops the file in Windows Explorer. The action is allowed and the file was copied successfully onto the USB drive. Kate opens another file that contains sensitive information with names, social security numbers, and credit card numbers, and attempts to print the file. The print action for this file is blocked. Kate receives a notification for the policy violation. Kate drags and drops the file in Windows Explorer. The copy action for this file is blocked, and she receives a notification for the policy violation. Let's examine the incidents generated by the two users as the results of policy violations. First incident is the peripheral control for Bob with username PAZTNA Agent 3Win, blocking the copy of a non-sensitive data to a USB drive. Navigate to the DLP incidents and click on the incident ID. In the incident details, you find the user ID, peripheral type USB, and action block. Next incident is the data in motion control for Kate with username PAZTNA Agent 2Win, blocking the printing of a document containing sensitive data. The final incident is the data in motion control for Kate with username PAZTNA Agent 2Win, blocking the copying of a document containing sensitive data to a USB drive. The last part of the demo is showing how policy is created. In the list of policies for Endpoint DLP, we can see the policy assigned to Bob PAZTNA Agent 3 Win, which contains peripheral control of USB and printer. And we see policy assigned to UK PAZTNA Agent 2 Win, which contains data in motion for personal identifiable information. Exploring how this policy was created by clicking on the policy name. Starting with basic information, select Data in Motion, Severity, and Enable Policy and click Next. In Identity Your Classifiers, select Data Profile PI and click Next. In Configure the Scopes, click Select User Specific Selection, then click Include, search the user, and check the box. Under Peripherals, select Any for USB devices, printers, and network shares and click Next. For Set the Response Action for this policy, under Action, select Block, select Incident Assignee, Email Notifications, and click Next. Click Next for evaluation priority. Finally, click Save in Policy Summary page. Back in the Endpoint DLP policy page, click Push Policies and Push. Once the push is completed, the endpoints automatically receives the new policies. This concludes the video. Thank you for watching.